So this is just a little warm-up to do for jiu-jitsu, or you can do this as a daily activity. It takes about 10 minutes to do so that you can loosen up joints, get your body moving, and support your jiu-jitsu practice. So we'll start on our backs. You don't need anything but a floor. If you have a mat, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. And just letting yourself roll right down to the floor. You want to find a good spot into the center of the pelvis, shoulder blades kind of tucked down. And then we'll draw the knees in. The circle of my palm is going to be on my knees, elbows to your ribs, and just kind of back and forth. Going up the spine a few times, just taking your time. This is very slow. So it's almost like you're breathing. As you breathe in, you can let your knees move away and your arms straighten, and as you exhale, pulling the knees in. Just easy, gentle wake up of the spine. Taking your time and an opportunity to sort of tap into your breathing, which is crucial to any practice. And then after you've done this a few times, maybe slip your hands to your shins, and you can pull your head towards your knees, a little rocking from side to side, checking in, make sure you're not holding your breath. And we'll take the head back to the floor, letting your feet come up, rolling your ankles and your wrists all around. You can squeeze your hands, make a little toe fist, hand fist. And then we'll tuck the knees back in again, give them a good squeeze. Releasing both feet to the ceiling, let your arms go overhead. Just kind of waking up the shoulders now. Hands come to the knees, heels to the buttocks. You can breathe in as you take everything up and over. And doing a nice slow exhale to bring everything back. Heels to buttocks, hands to knees. Inhaling up and over. And exhaling, bringing everything back down. Maybe one more time, up and over. We'll kind of hold this. Push up through the heels a little bit more, looking for a little bit of play in the hamstring. If you think about squeezing the pelvis a little deeper into the floor, you'll catch those hamstrings. I'm going to keep my knees bent, so you can keep them here or you can keep them straight. Sometimes it's nice just to keep them bent. And then we'll tuck the knees back in and releasing feet to floor. Now snuggle yourself back into good posture. And now we'll go ahead and pull right knee deeply into the body and taking those right toes up to the ceiling, interlacing your fingers behind your thigh. So we're going to push the back of the thigh into the hands. Just push nice and strongly, and then we'll find some point and flex here. Again, bending your knee as much as you need to. Point and flex, point and flex. Flex, maybe give a little hold here, push the heel up, and then tuck that knee really closely into the shoulder. We'll let the left leg go all the way down the mat. Flex the ankle, release your right foot to the floor, and left arm reaches overhead, just getting a little side stretch here. And drawing both knees back in, we'll draw knees to chest, open the knees wide apart. Close them back together again, opening them nice and wide. Close, we'll do that one more time, nice wide opening. Close the knees, place the feet, good posture. And then we'll draw left knee in. Hands interlace the back of the thigh, foot to ceiling. Press into the back of into the hands. Press the thigh, back of the thigh into the hands. And we'll find that point and flex on the side. Nice and slow, we're not rushing anything. Want to give the body plenty of time to react. And then maybe pull the toes a little bit towards you, push the heel up. And then we'll tuck that knee in really high up into the shoulder, right leg goes down the mat. Finding heel and calf on the floor. We'll release the left foot. Right arm reaches overhead, getting a little stretch on the side. And we'll draw the knees into the chest, pull them in deeply. Release feet to floor, preparing for bridge pose. We want the feet strongly on the ground and the feet maybe seat bone or hip bone distance apart. And you're welcome to take the arms overhead if you want to, and bring them back down to your thigh. You're welcome to keep the arms out to a T and lifting them. What we're going to avoid right now is arms down the mat with the hands on the ground, which creates tension in the back. So just nice and soft and slow and flowy here. You can take the arms overhead. And just again, this is no races here. This is just nice and slow breathing. We'll draw knees to chest now and take both knees over to the right. We're going to take the thumb and kind of put it in your armpit, your left thumb, and pull the left elbow towards the floor, keeping your thumb attached to that armpit. And then taking elbow to ceiling and pulling the elbow down. Elbow to ceiling and pull the elbow towards the floor. Coming onto your back, both feet to the floor. Straighten yourself out. We'll lift into bridge pose. And rolling yourself back down. This time we'll take the knees in and go left. So knees go left, right elbow to the ceiling, right thumb into the armpit, and pulling that right elbow towards the floor, and then up towards the ceiling. Then back towards the floor. Nice and slow. Elbow to ceiling, all the way down to the floor. Roll onto your back. And this time we'll just let the legs go straight down the mat, looking for a nice stretch. You can take your arms overhead, press through the feet, reach through the fingers, and then drawing knees back up. We're going to find that happy baby position. That's the feet pretty wide apart and holding on to ankles or shins, ankles or feet. We're all going to grab something different. We're going to avoid back of the thighs. And pulling the left knee down towards the floor, right foot goes up towards the ceiling. So it's a back and forth, rolling over the back, right knee comes down, left foot goes up. You want a little bit more in your stomach, you can pick your head up. It's basically doing like a spider card here, just back and forth. But doing it slow and controlled, so we're not falling to the side. It's very controlled, very slow. Knee comes to the ground, foot to the ceiling, using your belly muscles. Couple more times. We'll settle back into happy baby. Let your head come to the floor. This time we'll really pull those knees down to find a really deep happy baby. And then releasing. Heels to buttocks, close the knees. Snuggle back into good posture. We'll take a full body stretch again, reaching long. And then rolling over onto one side, doesn't matter which side, and we'll turn. Coming up into tabletop for cat-cow, or my favorite way of doing this is with my heels and buttocks together, sliding the hands down. So I'm in this sort of seated dog position. And tucking tailbone, rolling up through the spine, shoulder blades separate, chin comes to chest. Starting at the tailbone, rolling up the back. Shoulder blades actually pinch together a little bit. So we're really looking for a range of motion in the shoulder blades and the spine. If sitting on your heels is too much, just come up into tabletop, same thing. Starting at the tailbone, rolling up, shoulder blades separate. Starting at the tailbone, rolling up. Shoulder blades pinch together. Resist the urge to press your shoulders away from the ears and let that full range of motion happen in the shoulders. So we'll go ahead and walk forward now, coming onto the forearms. Hands are straight ahead rather than together. And imagine you could kind of drag yourself a little bit forward, maybe an inch or two, as you sort of press the pubic bone to the floor, pulling yourself a little forward. Doesn't have to be a dramatic back bend, just till you feel stretch in your belly. And then we'll slide the hands underneath the shoulders, curl your toes, we'll press up into plank pose. Left knee drops to the floor, right foot goes to the side. So I'm getting my toes pointed straight ahead and really trying to stretch to the outside of this ankle. You may feel it in the calf there. Same knee that I'm on, that same arm is going to come to the floor. So my right arm shoots underneath. You'll feel pull on the inside of that thigh. Coming all the way up, rolling up off that elbow until you're posting on that left arm. Right arm reaches as far behind you as you can go. Rolling back down through forearm to elbow, shoulder shoots through. And again, coming up, posting, turning, creating twist, and down again. We'll do that one more time. Nice and slow, so we're not pushing ourselves or rushing through this movement. Arm comes back through. We'll bring hands underneath. Knee comes back. We'll tuck the toes and a little down dog here. Just pressing around. Doesn't have to be dramatic here. You can take your feet really wide apart if you want to. Letting yourself push back into your heels, and we'll come back to table. This time the left foot goes out to the side, finding the outer side, pinky side of that left foot to the floor. Right forearm to the ground, shooting the left arm underneath. Feel that pull in the inner thigh. Slowly rolling up onto the palm of that hand, reach back. Slow roll down, take the time. Slow roll up. Breathing as you go, exhaling, finding that twist. Inhale, pushing up. And we'll come through one last time. And once again, coming back to table. Pressing back, pedaling through that down dog. You do one foot at a time, let one knee bend. You can walk your feet wider apart. Sometimes that helps with the hamstring. And then we'll come back down into tabletop. And once again, sinking back if you can into child's pose so that we can find a little bit of that cat-cow again. Or if you are going to come into tabletop, give your wrists a little break, coming onto the forearms to do your tabletop. Still maneuvering those shoulder blades, making them work. And then we'll go ahead and release. So turning onto your rear end, just letting your feet separate. Get a little pushing forward of the body, just kind of let your body slip in between your thighs. And we'll go ahead and sit up. Both legs down the mat to begin. You could use your hands to help support yourself. And we'll take this right foot and cross it over. Letting yourself roll down, using the belly muscles on the way, and then left thigh pulls up. So we're gonna make this moving, so you're gonna be moving here. Drawing the left knee in and releasing. Drawing the left knee in and releasing. Drawing the left knee in, couple more times. And then letting the left foot come to the floor, right leg, both legs down the mat, big stretch, and we'll sit all the way back up. Left leg comes across. Roll ourselves down nice and slow. Right knee catches left ankle, pulls, and back and forth a few times. Pulling that knee in. Want to make sure the ankle bone is on the other side of the thigh, so it's not digging into the top of the thigh. Couple more times, again, nice and slow. The right foot comes to the floor, uncross. Both legs go down the mat, big body stretch. And we'll sit up nice and slow. And this time we'll bring forearms to the ground. Palms are on the floor. Lifting up through the chest, you can look at your toes, ceiling or behind you. A little pull in the shoulders. Calves are pressing into the floor. One more breath. We'll tuck the chin, slide the feet, and you can roll, or if you want to, you can just roll onto your side and come straight down to the floor. The feet are on the ground, knees are bent, center the pelvis to the floor. Just letting your arms rest on the ground for a moment. Checking in with your breathing. Sometimes we forget to breathe. And then when you feel ready, just go ahead and roll over and come on up. And take your time getting up onto your feet.